Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of Lanterns of London. We left off with the esteemed Dr. Oliviera Rice, captured by Lucy, an old companion of Alice's at Mrs. Radcliffe's finishing school for fine young ladies, and captured by Dr. John Seward, presumably in Carfax Asylum. Meanwhile, having realised that she's gone off on her own, her erstwhile companions, the rest of the Lanterns of London, are currently on a train heading from London to Purfleet, nearby Carfax Asylum. I'm going to pick up this episode in the first class carriage of that train. Meaning Edmund is the only one in second class, the rest of the characters are in first. I'm going to go first to Nathaniel Wolfe. You were looking out the window of this carriage as dawn breaks. There is heavy mist rolling off the Thames here, and only the smell of the river remains of the stench of the city. The rest of it has faded as you have gotten further and further away from the centre of London. What is Nathaniel thinking right now, Reno?
Nathaniel is varying shades of angry with several people. Angry at Oliviera for having taken off on her own. Angry with Edmund for man-made monstrosities beyond comprehension. Angry with the villain we're going to confront here, probably. And he's trying to set all that aside to get things done.
The steam whistle, as you approach towards Purfleet, rouses Alice and Tristan. In the second class carriage, other passengers begin to stand up, jostling what is still mostly by way to Jack Russell Terrier on Edmund's lap, and he licks your face with a lolling tongue, waking you, Edmund.
Point of clarification.
Yes?
We did not sleep, some of us, on the previous night, and we were at a penalty. I very deliberately got some sleep on the train.
Yeah.
Was that sufficient to reduce my penalty? And I wonder who else is no longer affected by that. Sorry, just technical one to make sure that I'm clear.
Yes, so I did say if you slept on the train, you'd be able to reduce that penalty. I am assuming, unless anyone tells me otherwise, they have at very least got a power nap in on the train, and therefore will have recovered a little bit. Yeah, obviously, Oliviera hasn't had any sleep.
Does being unconscious count?
I'm going to say being sedated. Yeah, fine. I'll say that you don't. It was an involuntary nap, but it was a nap nonetheless. But yes, unless anyone's saying they haven't slept at all, I will say you will have been able to recover a little bit, and therefore be not at a -1 penalty.
Thank you.
You all managed to disembark the train. Purfleet Station is not a large station. It is literally just a 2-track station with awnings over the platforms. There is the small sort of town of Purfleet arrayed around you, and not far away is the Thames estuary. That is what you would know from the memory plate, is where the old Carfax Abbey is situated. But otherwise, the four of you are stood on the platform at Purfleet Station. What are you doing?
Where would she have gone? Because we need to meet back up with her immediately.
Well, my thinking is that she probably would have wanted to find out a bit more about where this sanitarium is. My other thinking is that we, once again, have a certain little scamp's nose. Well, half of his nose, half of another nose. But the point being, we've got opportunity to maybe utilise that skill of his that helped so many times in the past, would be my thinking.
Well, I suppose it certainly couldn't hurt. Do we have anything of hers that we could use as a base for her scent?
I do recall from the previous session, Edmund, you specified you went to get something of hers from her room. You will have been able to find a scarf that you're able to hold up to Skip's nose if that's what you're doing.
Yep. Yes, so I'm doing Essence of Victorian Doctor this time, rather than Essence of Victorian Child.
Understood. I will roll for Skip. He gets 4 levels of success. So Skip sniffs at this scarf for a second as you hold it up to his nose, and then sort of goes, woo! And just starts sort of scampering, again, very unevenly, down the platform towards sort of this cobbled path leading away and up the hill.
We follow, I assume.
Okay. The crowd sort of part as you're sort of pushing your way through to follow Skip. Quite a few people are parting away from this dog as he runs past anyway. As you're following him, can I please get a perception notice roll from everyone? Elementary observation does count for Rena, but this is not to sense danger.
What was the bonus on that again?
I think it's +4.
I have it open.
0 levels of success.
2 levels of success.
Also 2 levels of success. How's our resident eyeball on a stick?
I was clicking things. Hold on. The worst I could do is 12 for 2 levels of success.
Okay. You reach the end of a row of houses, a couple of streets away from the train station, and sort of go around the edge of this sort of terrace of houses, at which point you find Skip sort of sniffing at a drain pipe, and then sort of scrabbling on the wall slightly. On closer examination, I will still give this to Nathaniel because of elementary observation. There is a small piece of what looks like purple fabric that appears to be torn on one of the sort of clasps holding this drain pipe to the wall.
Well, she certainly passed here.
Oh, indeed.
Has
But
she been
she couldn't-
scampering up? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just wondering. She couldn't have. Could she?
I could certainly see her trying, but
Edmund's going to... I want to look around and just get a sense of how busy this particular little corner is. I'm conscious suddenly that there are 4 of us staring at a residential property's drain pipe, and that might not be the best look for us to be doing.
The main street itself, that this is sort of that these houses are on, is moderately busy, but because you've kind of gone down the ginnel kind of at the end, the alleyway at the end of this terrace of houses, it's not as busy. You can see from where you are as well, this path appears to lead up the hill towards the river.
Okay. Do we have a sense from... In fact, again, open question. Do we have a sense of where the actual target location is from here? Whether that's kind of Cartesian or kind of some sense of just general direction. Do we know that it's up towards the river, or do we have any of that information? Did we get that before we came here? Sorry, I don't remember.
What you will remember is the fact that the ruins of the Abbey, which you believe is nearby to the asylum, you can see the river from it. So presumably you go up to the cliff edge and look out. Would be getting you closer. So thinking going uphill would be closer than any other direction.
Okay. Before we go any further, I can't help but wonder, is there anything else that we need? We probably won't have much opportunity to stock anything else before we get there. And if there is some kind of a fracas, we want to be careful with our preparation.
Fair point. I think I'm well enough prepared. What about the rest of you?
Information is the only thing I think we're lacking right now.
I would generally agree with that, but
how do we get a bit more information then? If that's what we're missing, how do we go about getting a bit more information so we've got an idea of what we're walking into? As he's saying this, I would like Edmund to look around this presumably somewhat kind of through route and see if there's a spade or something, some kind of a tool along that sort of size and form that he might be able to lift in passing, either now or at some point when we come back this way, should we do so.
Make me a perception notice roll, please.
Yes, of course. That is 2 levels of success.
On 2 levels of success, you can see from where you're standing, someone sort of left a shovel leaning against a shed wall not far from you, where it looks like they're effectively, it's their garden. So it looks like it's just been left there waiting to be used at some point.
Mental note.
Well, not to worry. I'm sure is there a shop around here somewhere, like a shop, or maybe even like a pub or something? Just a public area where you can talk to like an employee.
There definitely does look to be a village pub that you've passed that was very near the station. As you're sort of walking up, called the Black Sheep. Equally, there appears to be a few sort of like general sort of trading shops and like a butcher, a greengrocer, that kind of thing, on the same street at the core of town near the train station.
Well, I suggest we check in with a couple of shopkeepers and the like. They're usually happy to help, and they can provide us with some information about the area. Although one of you may have to come to the pub with me. I'm not sure they'd be too keen on a lady going in on her own.
I'm sure no pub would be happy to see me walking inside.
Well, Mr. Tristan,
yes.
would you be open, my friend, to an endeavour to finally, once and for all, agree to go on a raccoon tour with me? Because it would make far more sense, in my humble opinion, for a young lady and her father to go into a butcher's or some sort of shop like that. Whereas some young mug such as myself, with an esteemed gentleman, makes much more sense. at this time of day.
I would be delighted to go on a raccoon tour with you, my friend.
Marvelous, thank you.
Hey,
Tristan is just visibly dying on the inside.
Edmund is deliriously gleeful. He doesn't know what this is, but he's looking forward to it.
so, going on their raccoon tour, I will follow Edmund and Tristan first, and then I'll pick up with Nathaniel and Alice going into one of the shops. So, you go into the pub. It's quiet at this time of day. You can smell the sense of, like, cooking. You get the sense that maybe, like, this is one of those sort of, like, central village places where some food is served to workers and stuff early in the morning as well. There appears to be a man, maybe in his early 50s, behind a counter, sort of steel grey hair, waistcoat buttons straining slightly to contain his gut, and he's currently just cleaning a glass and looking busy. Morning, gents. What can I do for you?
Morning. I'll be honest, we're new to the area. I am in the service of a place up in London that specialises in the interment of people who are deceased. I've been asked to attend a local sanatorium, and before we head up there, I thought I would maybe stop in and just have a very short drink and maybe even a bite to eat before we get up there and start working away.
Okay, which point he just sort of shouts back, Mary, is there any porridge left on? Right. A muffled sort of response comes from the kitchen. He goes, take a seat, I'll pour you both a pint. You as well, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah, the place you're looking for is up the hill.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you. What's it like? Is it? I mean, I've not really worked in a sanatorium before. It sounds a bit intimidating, if I'm honest.
Maybe a perception notice check, both of you.
My favorite check.
That's 10 for one success.
Also a 10 for one level of success.
He looks vaguely uncomfortable talking about this. I mean, it's a local business. I know some people who go up and work in the kitchens and the like. Mostly they keep themselves to themselves in terms of the doctors and staff and stuff. They don't... Seen them come and go from the train station, but none of them ever go in for a drink. They don't much like going up that way myself.
Oh, I can't say I blame you. I don't fancy that. The people who are not right of mind and stuff. That could be... thankfully, I'm not on my own. I don't think I like going up there on my own. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Really? Awful things could happen. But that being said, the staff there have no interaction with the town?
No, just in through the train station, up the hill. At least the doctors and the nurses and the like, the kitchen staff and the like come from the village, so...
Oh, do they? Oh, that's good. It's nice that it's supporting the local business then.
Well, there's that. Nothing wrong with a few more pennies in the village's pockets.
Exactly. Better here than out in the city, that's for sure. Beautiful part of the country as well. I've not been down here before.
Oh, you should visit more often. It's lovely, particularly as you get out towards the coast and you can smell the sea a bit more than the river.
Well, yeah, it's certainly an improvement over the Thames, I'll tell you that.
Not to return to the more morbid subject at hand, but how long has the sanitarium been in operation?
Oh, goodness. I think it opened its doors back, it must be 50, 60 years ago.
Oh.
Before my time, or very least when I was little. If memory serves, my dad told me that the building it's built around used to be one of the outbuildings from the old Carfax estate, but it all got sold off when that family sad business, but I believe died without heirs.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Place just kind of fell into disrepair and ruin, so I think assets got sold off by the estate.
Someone probably swooped in for pennies on the pound.
I assume as much. All a bit above my head, isn't it? So.
Fair.
Can I do? So we're not the only patrons in the pub, are we? There are a couple of others. You said
There are a couple of other people. Definitely. It looks like people in sort of workman's clothes.
Cool. I want to do just a really subtle check to see if anyone appears to be paying overly much attention to what we're saying.
There does appear to be a man in the corner who... well, make me your perception notice roll first, and we'll see what you sort of clock.
Cool. 13 for 3 levels of success.
There does appear to be a man in the corner who, when you mentioned the asylum, sort of shifted uncomfortably a bit, and that sort of tilted his head in that way that he's definitely listening in. But he's currently got his back sort of half turned to you, so you can't see his face.
Understood. Well, yeah, so, I mean, from my point of view, obviously I'm here to just do a job and get gone, but I do like this area. It's rather lovely. I could see myself settling down somewhere like this. A beautiful space. Other than the sanatorium, what's it like around here? Is it all right?
Yeah, it's where I'm from. Well, I've not travelled very far, down to the coast a couple of times, but that's it.
Lovely. Very nice. Ah.
Around this time, sort of the porridge, it's very clearly like the pot sticker burnt dregs at the bottom that have been managed to be scraped out into 2 bowls that have been given to you. And he pours you a couple of pints that you've been able to sort of sip at while you're having this conversation. Is there anything else you want to do here, or should I cut over to Alice and Nathaniel?
Given that I clocked the chap in the corner who leaned in, and he's turned away from us, so I cannot see him, but also he cannot see us. Mm-hmm. After Mary and the barman have left, or the owner have left us alone, I will, without saying anything, I will intimate to Tristan to be mindful of this particular individual over in that corner, whether that's some kind of indication. The other thing that I'm going to do is when I've finished my porridge, to hell with it. I'm gonna do it. When I've finished my porridge, when it's almost finished, I'm going to put a very small amount of beer into the bowl as well, and I'm going to mix it round, and I'm going to check and make sure I'm not getting seen doing it, and I'm going to hold it down for Skip to have some.
Yeah, he'll sort of lap at it. Again, it's that makes a sound because he is not used to using his new sort of tongue and jaws at the moment, so it's making some pleasant slurping sound as he does it, but he sort of gobbles it up.
Perfect.
Which does get the man in the corner to sort of turn and look towards you briefly.
That's the point at which I look and see his face and try and work out if I recognise him, if it's anyone that I recognise at all, if it's someone I've seen before.
I will give off your earlier roll. You definitely don't recognise him. The look on his face is one of suspicion, and he doesn't look happy to see you, but he looks suspicious of you, is what you're taking from that brief moment.
Perfect. Again, I'll communicate that as subtly as I can to Tristan. And Tristan, I don't know if you have anything that you would add, but at that point I'd be happy to cut away.
Tristan will just kind of tilt his head at you and in a way that you suggest, that might suggest, do you want to go and talk to this man?
Edmund. Yeah, Edmund will nod in agreement. Edmund will nod in agreement.
I'll stick with the scene just a little bit longer then.
Yep.
Okay.
Tristan is going to take his pint and he's going to saddle up. Is this guy just seated at a different table or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and as gregariously as he can, which is quite gregarious when Tristan Carleone wants to be. He's just going to offer himself a seat right next to him and be like, "Oh, I hope you don't mind. Shall we? Can we join you for just the briefest of moments?"
And if I do mind?
I mean, if you do mind, then I don't know. You're the one who controls your own actions, so.
As Tristan's saying this, I clock what the guy's drinking and indicate to the barman for another one for him.
Okay. Barman will pour one and you're able to bring it over and join him at the table, I presume?
Yeah.
He'll lower his... make me a willpower influence roll, please, Elliot, for Tristan. You can add a +1 for the pint.
Okay. What? So the worst I could roll, it's an 8 for 0 levels of success. I reject that reality and substitute my own. I'm spending a retroactive drama point to make it 13 for 3 levels of success because Tristan is more charming than that. God damn it.
Yeah. I'll let you do that. So he's about to bite your head off, at which point a pint just appears in front of him. And he sort of like looks up, sniffs slightly, and then... Look, I don't know who you two are or what it is you're looking to do here, but I know they don't need no gravedigger up at that place. Ian's a good man. Don't you pull him into whatever it is you might be involved with.
Ian?
He sort of like indicates towards the bartender.
And why wouldn't they need a gravedigger? People die everywhere, all day, every day.
Because that's not where the bodies go.
And where do the bodies go?
Who are you? What's your interest in all this?
My interest in all of this is... There is someone I care about deeply who may be in residence there.
You see his reaction to that. He is taken aback. When you say maybe, you don't know.
I don't.
Me and some of the other gentlemen from the village, we operate a barge, goes upriver back into London. We have cargo. Those cargo are always the same shape. Do you take my meaning?
Somewhere between 5 and 6 feet long.
Indeed.
And how much cargo do you ferry?
Varies week to week, but never none.
And
Paid enough to keep our families fed, which is difficult enough in this day and age.
Tristan is going to very subtly take out an amount of money from his wallet. How much would be a substantial sum, but not like suspicious?
A few pounds would be a very substantial sum without being like
Yeah.
that would be enough to take care of a family for like more than a month.
£5 note. And just kind of very subtly slides it over.
He grabs it and sort of slips
Nope.
it.
As he goes to grab it, sorry if I can jump in.
Yeah.
As he goes to slide it off the table, Edmund's finger holds it in place. Just for a moment. And he looks at him. And he's going to make a big old swing. I don't suppose you recall the story about all them kids up in London going missing, do you?
My missus told me about that. She reads the Penny Dreadfuls.
Of course. And there were 5 of them. 3 gentlemen. 2 gentlemen, sorry. 2 women.
No, 3 gentlemen, 2 women.
3 gentlemen.
Some number.
2 women. And there was also a little dog as well. And they rescued those kids. And they were out to do good work because they cared. And they did not like what they saw. Imagine, if you will, if one of their number ended up being taken and held against their will. And he'll take his finger off the knot at that point.
Make me a willpower influence roll. I will let you add 4. Mostly for the money, but also for the big callback.
Okay, I'm going to drama point that as well, because it feels like it's a drama pointing moment. That is the worst I could possibly have rolled. That is a 17 for 5 levels of success.
The man slips the money into his wrist, but as he sort of does, and you finish saying that, he sort of looks up at you. You're the Lanterns of London.
Pathetically, if that were the case, you can appreciate discretion would be appreciated. Also, we would not be here without very good reason. Isn't that right, Mr. Tristan?
I do believe that would be correct, yes. And of course, we're not here to cause any trouble to people who might otherwise be finding livelihood from certain employ.
Something's not right. That's all I know. Something isn't right. I've never opened any of them, but they're not shaped like coffins, but that's the size of them. And there's something about the way the weight shifts as you're moving them.
Shifts.
Yes.
I would ask. I appreciate you've not seen eye nor ear of anything specific. I don't suppose, in the interest of supporting the safety of local community, whether you have some kind of watch or something, is there anyone else that it would be worthwhile our time speaking to while we're here before we head up there?
There was a gentleman named Simon who came around asking questions not that long ago.
All right.
I haven't seen him in a few weeks.
Could you furnish us with a description such that if we come across somebody of his
Ilk.
That's the one.
He's similar to you, and he sort of nods towards Edmund. Curly, sort of straw-coloured hair, green eyes, getting a bit older now, beard.
All right. Well, we shall be mindful of his existence, and if we see someone that looks like him, we will bear it in mind. We'll do everything we can.
I'm sure his mum would appreciate that. But... And he sort of looks around uncomfortably. That's all I know. But if you do need anything, there's a boathouse at the back. Barge comes about once a day towards sunset.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
of course, you'll notice not either of us asked for your name. Even if somebody wanted to find out, we couldn't even tell them. Unfortunate, that, isn't it?
Yes. Most
What
unfortunate.
curiosity.
Well, on that note, from my point of view, I think it's been a lovely conversation. I hope you enjoy your drink on our behalf, and I entreat you to ensure that you look after yourself. Might be worth locking the door tonight, if you don't usually.
Good to know.
Tristan
Have a good day,
reaches
gents.
out. Tristan reaches out to shake his hand, and as he does so, there's another £5 note in it. And he just, as he grabs his hand, he says, I do hope that there would be something that could be shared amongst the village.
Understood, sir.
Yes. Shall we?
Shall, come on in, Skippy Dips.
Thank you for a lovely raccoon tour, sir.
Best I've ever had.
I'm going to cut across to Alice and Nathaniel. The greengrocer is the shop that's open at the moment. When you've gone in, there is a woman who looks to be in her sort of mid-30s. She's got a couple of strands of silver in her hair, sort of falls to her shoulders, currently sort of pinned back by a bonnet. Morning, Father? We don't usually... That's to say the local church isn't...
Oh, don't mind him. He's my uncle. We're just here traveling together.
Oh, right, of course. Can I get you something?
Well, actually, we were looking for some information. You see, a friend of ours is with us in our travels, but when we were going here, she had to go on ahead, and, well, we can't seem to locate her. We were hoping maybe you had seen something, or perhaps if you had any idea of where she might have gone. She might have gone this way, so...
I don't... Who?
Oh, yes, of course. Terribly sorry. I should give you a description. You would know her right away. She's very pretty. Tall, dark hair, usually held back in a bun. Glasses. She would be wearing a purple dress, I believe. Have you seen a woman like that come by?
I'm afraid not, miss. Sorry.
Oh, unfortunate. Well, we'll just have to meet up with her some other time. I'm sure she's got her own explorations to do. Bit of a free spirit, that one. While we're at it, Uncle Nathaniel, did you, I believe you had some questions about the local sanatorium?
Yes, I was wondering, while I travel, I try to always do some of the work. And I was wondering if the sanatorium locally has any need for a priest and his services, little as they are.
Can I, get a perception notice roll from both of you? Empathy counts here, so you can add a +2 bonus for it. Her face visibly gets, like, a lot more dark and concerned when you mention the sanatorium. I don't believe they have a chapel. I've never known the local church to get involved at all, so I can't imagine that. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know a lot about the place. We make deliveries, but that's essentially the extent of it.
I see. Sorry, out of character, I'm just thinking about what we could ask next. Well, my uncle was very set on helping the poor souls within. Do you know of anyone who could possibly help us to get inside? To make a visit, of course.
I'm afraid I know some of the kitchen staff, but nothing more than that, I'm afraid. And again, that's only for the deliveries. My cousin, he takes up a cart every day, just vegetables and such for, well, I assume it's what the kitchens use.
Understood.
Well, helping with the delivery is the least we could do then, if not help inside. Could we maybe help your cousin with his delivery?
Certainly. I'll let him know you're interested. He usually comes by around noon, in a few hours.
Okay.
Marvelous.
We'll try to be here.
Certainly.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. And if you do see our friend, please let her know that we're looking for her. Would you mind?
Not at all. I'll let, if I see anyone matching her description, I'll let you know. Or I'll let her know you're looking.
Thank you very much. You have a lovely day.
You as well.
I have a thing I maybe want to do, but I need to retroactively change something about that scene, if I can.
What was it you had in mind?
I'm carrying this huge bundled up package of guns.
This is true.
Can I have just set that against a wall while we were having this conversation and have left
Certainly.
it inside? And then, as we've walked outside, go back in by myself?
Certainly.
Once back inside,
You left your,
I'm gonna make a point of closing the door, and then ignore the bundle and walk up really close to the woman. Look, I didn't want to mention anything in front of my niece, but the sanatorium had you looking rather worried. And while I wouldn't discuss it in front of a young lady, I know some of the things that go on and inside those places. Is there something you're not telling us?
make me a willpower influence roll, and I will let you add a +2 for being scary as hell.
Willpower influence.
While that's rolled, can we just get a reminder that Father Nathaniel is like 6'5"? Is
Yeah,
it?
I think that's also contributing a little bit to the +2.
Can I retroactively drama point this to a 16?
To a 16 for, I
yeah.
believe, 4 levels of success.
Yes.
Jesus. I don't do the deliveries anymore. I don't like going up there. The birds don't sing. I don't hear any insects. The wind stops. Something about it's just wrong. Now, I know my Bible, sir, and I don't truck with the devil. And I have heard rumours, nothing... What sort of place for healing the mind doesn't have a chapel? What sort of place doesn't speak to priests and... I don't care for it. I don't know why, I just don't.
I understand. I'm not here to assign blame. We're here to do some good.
Well... I think if you wanted to go up and help with the delivery, my cousin would certainly be happy for the help. But I don't suspect they'll let you pass the door. They're quite private. My understanding is something about the some of their patients being ladies and gentlemen of quality. They don't want the newspapers or the penny dreadfuls making a sensation out of anything that happens there. At very least, that's what I believe some members of the village were told. But...
Okay. We'll just be here to help your cousin then.
Okay. Well then, I shall look forward to seeing you later. Father.
Thank you. Peace be with you. And then he's going to pick up his big old package.
Yes, well, God to be with you, sir.
Okay. And he's going to walk out.
Okay. You're able to, as you're sort of walking out, we'll say those scenes took roughly a similar amount of time, so you both sort of come out and sort of step out onto the street in time to see each other and sort of congregate near the station again.
Anything helpful?
Eventually.
Hmm?
We've discovered that it is, it's been quite important for the local economy, but they have been shipping bodies of unsettling nature back to London.
Actually, that does strike me as a bit odd. If the bodies are already presumably deceased, why would they bring them all the way to London?
The bodies, their weight shifted somewhat oddly, which would suggest to me that they may be, in fact, less dead than would otherwise be indicated.
Or potentially not whole. They're
Or
also
potentially not whole.
Yeah, they're also not in coffins or boxes, which rankles me some. And there's a distinct air of dislike. Now, don't get me wrong, you'd have that of anywhere. It's got a sanatorium nearby, but they really don't like this. But it brings in money for the local economy, so I think I get the impression that there's a tolerance of it. But there is a boathouse at the back of the town, which apparently can be used after dark. We may have some minor allies. We've also to be on the lookout, and he's going to give the description of the curly-haired, straw-coloured haired, green-eyed Simon character, so we all have that information.
We also visited the greengrocer. Similar dislike for the sanatorium. Her cousin does do deliveries up there, so at the very least we can go help the delivery, maybe see the place up close, and then leave again after we've seen what we've needed to see.
Indeed. We can do some reconnaissance during the trip. And what time did you say the barge would arrive at the boathouse?
I'm sure it was dark, twilight. It was dusk.
Yeah, dusk.
Yeah. It's about dusk, when the sun goes down.
Right. And the delivery happens about noon. We do the reconnaissance then, use the information that we've gathered, and then this evening, in we go.
What about the ruins? One of the brain plates did show ruins. Do we need to find those as well?
Sander, what time is it right now?
Say probably about 9:30 to 10 a.m.
Okay. Well, we have a couple of hours before the delivery has to happen. Why don't we go look at that now?
Okay. Is that... Sorry, go on, Sean.
Edmund's had an idea, and he's going to want to look around. I appreciate this is a relatively small town. He's going to want to see if there is either a shop that has any kind of musical association with it, or something along those lines.
It's not a wealthy enough or large enough place to have a shop that's dedicated to making instruments, but there does appear to be a sort of what looks like a cross between a general goods store and a pawn shop.
Perfect.
And if you sort of stick your head in there, you can see there's a few sort of like instruments that are currently sort of on stands in one corner.
Perfect. He's going to go in.
Okay.
And he's going to have a look around. He's going to see if he can find or see any tuning forks.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, you would still have the full set in your pocket. You never actually removed them from your inventory for any reason.
I didn't, but I also didn't explicitly say that I had them with me, so I wasn't sure if that would be okay or not. So I'm happy to go with either way, but I didn't want to. I worried that would be a bit of a leap, so I'm happy to do that.
I can imagine you probably would have left them in your workshop without if you only had the idea now. What I will say is you can find a set. It's that thing of these are secondhand and a couple of them are missing. But there's like a cheap set of tuning forks that sort of have been set alongside some of those things. Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. In that case, yeah, I purchased them and I've just got them on me.
Excellent. Good to know. So, you're heading up to you intend to head up to the ruins near where you think the sanatorium is. Okay. Before we get to that, I'm going to cut across.
Mm.
In a dark stone room, which is showing no evidence of the dawn outside, Dr. Oliviera Rice is still chained. Dr. Seward and Lucy left a short while ago, though Seward seems to be quite keen to come back. And, well, you're not entirely sure it's a conversation that he wants. You can hear distant moans and screams echoing down the corridor. What are you doing? Insofar as you're able to do anything.
I'm assuming I've been deprived of everything.
Yes, everything was taken from you. You do not have your Derringer, you do not have your doctor's bag. You do not have the ticker. You saw it in Dr. Seward's pocket using the sight.
Okay. Would you mind briefly describing the layout of the room?
Certainly. You are currently chained to the floor of a square stone room. Each wall is about maybe 15 foot on a side, and as tall as well. There is a vent in the ceiling above you, a metal grill, and you are kneeling in what looked like the worn remains of a chalk circle with various different magical runes and sigils drawn across its length. There are piles of what look like ash where you believe censers stood because you believe you saw this layout in one of the memory plates where a ritual was being conducted on a man who was similarly restrained to yourself. There is a heavy oaken door in front of you. There is bars in the centre of that oaken door. There is currently a hatch that is closed. Otherwise, the room is very dark, though given your eyesight, you are able to see somewhat in the darkness.
Okay. Is the circle complete?
No.
Could you describe the chalk outlines a little more to me?
Make me a intelligence occultism roll.
Okay. One level of success, that's a 10.
you're not entirely sure that you can sort of intuit anything from them. Their lines have been broken. It looks like there's some very complex line work, but again, it's been marred, and also it is dark in here, and even with your enhanced sight, it is difficult to make out fine detail.
Would I be able to intuit that if it is not complete, then whatever ritual was due to take place would not work?
I'm going to say at this point you just don't know.
Okay. Can I recognise any of the symbols or anything at all?
Not on that roll.
Okay. Okay. Can I hear anything?
Make me a perception notice roll.
Perception, notice. Same roll again. 10, 1 level of success.
Like I said, you can hear the distance of moans and screaming of people who are restrained elsewhere. But underneath all of it, just very faintly, you can hear something coming from the adjacent room, you think. It sounds closer but quieter. And it almost sounds vaguely musical, like someone's humming or singing to themselves.
Can I hear it enough to hum or sing back in response?
Can't quite pick out the tune, but you could certainly speak and they might be able to hear you.
Okay. I would like to hum back slightly louder, trying to pick up the tune where I can, and see how they respond.
Like I say, you can't quite make out the tune, but you're able to hum.
Mm-hmm.
When you stop humming and you listen, it seems to have stopped. But then you hear a voice. Excuse me? Do you have any spiders in there by chance?
Do I?
Not that you can see.
Sorry, I'm afraid not.
Any small birds? Or mice? Mice would work. Hello?
Sorry. Do I have anything? Do I have any flies? Do I have anything?
You can't see any living things in the cell with you now.
Sorry, nothing organic here, I'm afraid.
Oh, blast it! How am I supposed to do my work without anything? Curse it!
What work are you doing?
Trying to distill things.
Oh. Are you a scientist?
Yeah, well, yes, I am a scientist. I'm a very great scientist. I have learned the true science. I have been promised such knowledge you wouldn't believe.
Oh. You must be very famous.
No, because smart people don't want to be famous.
There's something in that, I suppose. Well, you sound very enlightened to me, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor. I never said I was a doctor. Who are you? Why do you think I'm a doctor?
Great minds recognize great minds. I'm one. I assumed you must be too.
A great mind or a doctor?
Why not both?
Because that's silly.
You don't believe doctors can be smart like you?
I think you probably think everything is to do with flesh and guts and blood, not life.
No, I don't actually.
Oh.
I think things are strange and liminal and more than what they seem.
Oh, okay, maybe you are cleverer than I thought you were.
There's greatness beyond that which these folk know, isn't there?
Yes, they're scrabbling, they're trying, but they're not quite as smart as they think they are.
No, you're smarter.
Yes, I am. I know that there are greater people than Dr. Seward.
Quite.
Why are you in here? I know why I'm in here, but why are you in here?
I was discovering something. I became a threat.
Oh yes, they don't like it when you do that.
No, they don't, do they?
What did you say your name was?
Oliviera Rice. And yours?
Renfield.
Renfield. Well, Mr. Renfield, it's a pleasure to meet you, even if it is through a wall and bars. I'm afraid and sorry that I have no organic matter in my cell here to spare.
It's not organic matter, it's life. You need to let the bigger lives eat the smaller lives so that they get bigger in turn, and then you can eat them. Spiders eat flies, birds or mice eat spiders, then maybe a cat, then maybe a dog, then maybe a horse, then me.
So that the contents are transferred.
Exactly!
And then what, dare I ask, Mr. Renfield, eats you?
But I don't think he'd do that. He promised me he wouldn't do that.
Who? Your greater force.
I'm not allowed to say.
The people here, do they know about him?
They think they do.
And you're locked here to prevent your access to him?
Or his access to me. I don't rightly know which is which. Because I can hear him.
You hear him?
Can't you? Not outside, you're listening with your ears. Listen with your mind.
Do I hear anything with my mind, Xander?
No.
You must be far more privileged than I, in that you may hear him and I may not.
The Master's voice is most certainly a privilege.
Do you think he'd be willing to help you?
Yes. Yes, he will break me from here. He will break my chains, and with him I will ascend. I will have immortality. He promised.
Immortality is a very big promise.
I am a deserving servant. I've done... I suppose I haven't done it yet, but I'm sure he'll break me out of here so I can.
Oh, complete your ascension.
Yes! And the other tasks he wanted me to do.
Do you reckon he'd be willing to break out a fellow faithful if I were to try and hear him?
Maybe.
Of course, you'd be more important. He'd be your
Well, yes, of course.
master directly. But someone else who is perhaps intrigued. A loyal follower.
Maybe. You just focus on trying to hear him in your mind. I think I've spotted a fly.
I will try to do that. Thank you.
Make me an occult willpower roll.
This feels important. So despite the fact I only have 3, I'm going to drama point this. Cult will. Okay, so it was an 8 with 0 levels without, so...
Yeah. You didn't remember to put in the modifier, so it would be 18, which I believe is 5 levels of success.
Okay.
You still your mind. And you open up all of your senses. You don't hear any voice inside. You don't hear anything that resembles what you think is this man's master. What you hear is a voice you've not heard since you were 6 years old. Oliviera, you can't stay here, darling. I can't help, but you can't just stay here. You need to find a way out. It is audibly your mother's voice.
Mum?
You open your eyes, and there is a shade of darkness in the corner of your cell that is lighter than the surrounding shadow. She is tall, she is pale, and her hair hangs lank around her shoulders, and her bare feet do not touch the ground of the cell. You're going to have to pull, okay? You don't see her move, but she's moved as though she's wrapped her hands around one of the chains that's holding you down. I'll pull with you, okay? I need a strength athletics roll from Oliviera.
Nope. I'm rolling abysmally today.
The chain doesn't move as you tug on it. It is firmly bolted to the floor of the cell. And in the position you're in, you just can't quite get the leverage to bring enough force to bear. Darling, I can't help you. I don't have the... I'm not really here anymore.
What did you do?
I didn't. But Your father was a great man. He saw a further horizon than most do. I believed in his vision.
What took you away?
We were not willing to there is a scale at which cruelty becomes atrocity. One can be tolerated, the other can't. We reached our limit.
So my father experimented on me.
Yes.
Why?
So that when a new great age begins, you could be one of the men and women leading this empire to greater heights than any imagined possible. So that you could be the most equipped to lead, to excel. What else would
What if I did not wish to lead? What if I wished to care? To help, to stay back and offer aid, what then?
Then I suspect you would be a better woman than me, and a better person than your father.
About my sister, was the same done to her?
No. Lily was too young.
And what, they wanted you to share this with the world so that others might use it, this... whatever it was you did.
Yes. So that people might be made better.
What was it you did?
I was not privy to all the secrets your father was. I do not know, but I know what they do here. I heard Dr. Seward. Not always here the same way now. You see her expression shifts and there's no movement of the muscles of her face. It's almost as though a different emotion manifests and the entity that you can see instantly changes with it. I don't know exactly what it is they're doing, but I know something he said. He asked it as a question. When I asked him what Barnabas had been doing, and he said it was his idea. He was the one who thought of it first. And she locks eyes with you. What better filter for madness than a human mind? It's not pure. Whatever they find, whatever they have, it's not pure. They need to filter it through us.
What did they do to him?
I don't know. I don't know whether he's alive or dead.
He's dead.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Don't be. That is better. We can't let you stay here. I can't... Oh, it's happening again. I can feel... And she just curls in on herself and vanishes. There is an ache in the back of your teeth. And you can see dust on the floor of your cell has begun to shake, as though with a sound you cannot hear. Distantly, the screaming gets louder. I am cutting back to the others. crest the hill, going up the path, and I will say, Edmund, you pass where the shovel was. Should you wish to grab it?
Yeah, I pick it up in passing. I pick it up in passing, and I leave behind a couple of very small coin values.
Yeah. Enough to cover the cost of the shovel.
Yeah, precisely so.
Okay. You follow that path up until it reaches a point where it forks. One is going left, the other is going right. The one that's going right appears to head up towards the river, and where you can see, as you sort of reach that fork, distantly, a few stone columns. Otherwise, the ruins are otherwise obscured by trees, but you can see that they are in that direction.
How well worn is that path versus the other path? I'm trying to get a sense of like how frequently it's used.
That one looks like it's used more frequently. The one going left appears better maintained and looks like it's more expensive. It's cobbled. This one is more of a cart track that's sort of leading up by the ruins. Which way are you going?
I say right.
Head to the ruins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you walk up, there is fencing that runs along the right-hand side of the path, and as you sort of get through a copse of trees, you can see almost the exact image that you witnessed in the memory plate of this ruin with the glittering of the river estuary behind it. You even actually recognise the fence posts as being the same as the view from that image. You can see further along the cliff face there appears to be a large, ornate-looking house that appears to have fallen into disrepair, looking over the estuary as well. The path continues around and down slightly into what looks like another sort of thickly wooded area. Looking through that, you can see the tops of like the roofs of buildings distantly.
Interesting.
You say the house is in disrepair, but does it look abandoned, or...?
It looks abandoned. It looks thoroughly abandoned.
Is there anything of note in the ruins itself?
Are you hopping the fence to go and take a look?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not a trick question. You're able to hop the fence and walk over. It's... Standing in it, there are still ancient flagstones covering the base of what was once this abbey. You can see where the roof has long since caved in, but you can see the gaps in the stonework where beams would once sit, supporting what presumably was a shingled roof. The stone is weather-beaten and ancient, and grass has long since started to sort of crop up between the old flagstones. It doesn't look like this place is maintained at all or even that frequently visited. It feels quiet, old, forgotten as you stand here.
Using his advantages of his photographic memory, I would like to find the exact spot from the plate, and I would like to look around for like markings or footprints or something. I appreciate that may have been a while ago and that things may have changed, but these, if it had been the view of one of these machine types, they famously leave these imprints. That's the sort of thing I'm looking for.
So you're able to find In fact, what I will say is you struggle initially to find the exact spot, but then you realise the issue is a matter of perspective. You're too low down to get exactly the alignment. Even with these creatures being quite tall, you think that would still be too low down. So it would seem that they probably had the view from the back of a carriage.
Right, okay. Okay. Again, I would communicate that with everybody there.
So that cart track that you've been stood on appears to be the best, the vantage point that you've seen from the memory plate.
Okay.
I suppose. Right.
Does suggest that they were either carted to or from here.
So, everything that Dr. Saris has created, or had a hand in, comes from here. Is that a fair assumption?
Do the cart tracks lead to the house?
No, the cart tracks go on through the copse. It doesn't look like... It looks like maybe... Actually, on examination, there was a path that went through where the fence now sits that would lead over to the house. But it looks thoroughly overgrown and disused. You can see some old, what were probably like cobbles or flagstones, but they have been thoroughly overgrown. It's only when you're actively looking for it you're even able to spot them.
Should we see where these lead? Into that copse?
I'm not entirely sure. We have a plan of ingress. I'm not sure we need to do any further investigation. And delving too close to the place too soon might give us away.
Fair enough.
That said, if anyone thinks that we can alter the plan by what we find, or if there's a possibility of that, I'm open to the idea.
No, but I would be interested in seeing that house. Either from being as close as it is to where everything is happening, we might find something there, or we might find a place where we can lay low until dusk, at the very least.
The trees in the copse of trees, how tall are they? What kind of trees are they?
It looks like a mix. It looks like it's old woodland, but there's some oak, cypress.
Okay, and time of month? Time of year, sorry?
This is still, I think it's about February 1st of 1889.
Okay, so the trees will be bare if they're deciduous.
Yes.
And just being branches. Miss Alice, I can't help but wonder if there might be an advantage to some altitude in order to get a better sense of the verticalism of our predicaments. However, I am conscious you are in rather bright clothing, so it might be worthwhile if we could have you, if you'd be so inclined, and forgive me for being so forward, maybe climb up and see if there's a better view from that perspectiveness.
So, Edmund, you're suggesting that Alice should climb one of the trees?
Yes, cover up as best you can. I'm going to offer her my coat, such as it is. Actually, no, it's quite a nice coat now. But it is a more muted brownish coat. So I will offer that because I know that Alice has a proclivity for the brighter hues. So I would offer her my coat so that she might put that on and be more brown against the brown of the trees and not look quite so obvious should anyone happen to look.
Okay. Alice, are you doing this? Are you climbing up one of the trees?
I don't see why not.
Okay. You're able to find quite a tall, thin poplar with quite sort of dense branches that looks fairly climbable. I'm going to require a dexterity acrobatics or a dexterity athletics from you. Your choice.
Okay, just give me one sec. My Roll20 did a thing, so I'm just reloading it.
No problem.
Just pull up the thing here. And okay, yes, here we go. All right, and you said that was dexterity acrobatics or athletics?
Correct.
Okay, cool. I guess it doesn't hugely matter either way. They're the same amount, so I'll just add that in there. Add the -2. Okay, 2 levels of success.
Okay. It's by no means as graceful as some of you have seen Alice before. It is definitely not a superhuman feat, but she's able to sort of clamber between the branches up to essentially above the tree line and getting quite a good sight. You stop when you get high enough that the very sort of gentle wind coming off the river is enough to make the tree sway beneath you a little bit, and at that point you decide that's high enough. You're able to see a building from your perspective. It is below you. You can see that the building is almost shaped like a figure 8, with 2 large courtyards in the middle, and sort of a branching corridor connecting the two, sort of opposite wings. The front of the building has a carriage house that's on your left from your perspective, and the back of the building sort of faces towards the river. It is a bit further along and down the hill from the large house, which is now sort of parallel to you on the right, with the ruins behind you on the right. From what you can see, it looks to be about three stories tall. You can see windows on the front. The back of the building, conspicuously, it looks like they've been bricked over.
Oh.
You could see from your perspective what looks like, from just judging from like the chimney smoke, it looks like probably the kitchens are in that sort of central, sort of adjoining bit between the two wings. It looks like there's a sort of area there which has a lot of sort of smoke coming out of it that you presume probably the kitchens.
Okay. You said the bricked over windows were in what section?
On the right hand side, sort of from the perspective of someone coming up towards the front of the building, they are at the back.
Okay.
It looks like facing towards you and where this path that you're on terminates, there looks to be a large sort of gatehouse, at which point the path appears to go around the back of the building towards that sort of central sort of blocks of the building.
Okay, I can't see into any of the non-bricked off windows from where I am, right?
You're quite a distance away, or at least like
right.
sort of 500 feet, so it'd be difficult for you to...
yeah, no, absolutely not. Okay, cool. Okay, so, can't think of any other details that I might want to, like, inquire about. So I guess I'll head back down.
Okay.
And once I get down there, I'm going to take a quick second, and then I'm going to relay what I've seen, and just add into the end. It's my belief that the bricked over sections, that's likely where the patients are being held.
Looking around at the ground and the cups that we're in at the moment, has it been a dry February?
Dry and cold, yes. I mean, so far it's been sort of late January until very recently.
Excellent. The smoke coming out of kitchens has given me a bit of an idea.
Do tell.
Do you remember when we dealt with the Ordo Flammae, and we caused a distraction using our little explosion. I wonder, given it's dry, albeit cold as cold, I wonder if it might be worthwhile thinking if there's an opportunity to do another distraction with some fire. Whether that's in some kind of outbuilding or somewhere, I can't help but wonder if that's a way to get people out in the open and at least, if nothing else, get a better idea of how many there might be. Just a thought.
I do like the idea. The only question is, who would light it, and I suppose someone would have to be there to deal with the potential aftermath. But then some of us would we have to split up in order to do this?
I mean, it's just an idea. We don't even necessarily have to do it. I'm just thinking it might be an opportunity.
Oh, yes. Yes, we're just exploring possible avenues.
Exactly.
Is the abandoned house mostly stone or mostly wood?
Looked mostly to be stone. It looks like it may have been built at a similar time to the Abbey. It's just been better maintained.
From where we are, we know from the conversations earlier on that people were transporting cargo to be moved by water elsewhere. Can we see the path or the route that they've taken in the past to get to said water area or dock or thing?
I will add on to the description I gave to Alice, and this is something she shared with everyone, that the path that sort of goes from where you are and around the back of the building appears to then go on and goes down sort of where the cliff sort of drops down towards the river a bit. It looks to go down there. So while you can't see it, you could probably intuit that's the route to the boathouse.
Okay, understood.
I do have an idea for another possible distraction that could take place inside, but there are some variables.
Go
and as
on.
she says that, Xander, just a quick double check. Was there any way, like any big trees or anything like that, that could potentially allow someone to get onto the roof?
No, it doesn't look like there's any trees that are sort of standing that are close enough to the building to allow for that.
And no, like, handholds or anything? Or at least something that someone could take surreptitiously?
Difficult to say with certainty from this distance, but it looks like it's a fairly sort of old stone building. You believe that there would be sufficient handholds to maybe clamber up the side. Particularly, there do appear to be drain pipes that could get you up to the roof, maybe.
Well, I just had a thought. Obviously, we'd have to make our way inside before we started a distraction. But you have those little flash things, yes?
Yeah.
Suppose that someone was to get onto the roof, go to that chimney, and drop one of those flash objects within. I imagine that would cause something of a stir, yes? And given, well, I admit I don't know the mechanics of it, but I imagine it would not mix well with flame or heat, which would no doubt cause an even bigger distraction. Likely some sort of, perhaps, emergency. And if that were to happen, would there not be a number of people, guards and the like, who would come to iron out the emergency? It might be a way for us to draw people away from the entrances, so that the other three can find their way inside.
I mean, it's possible. I could certainly make a quick adjustment on the fly, if you'll forgive the pun.
Not at all.
Well, it's possible. It would mean we'd be one short, and I've only got the one on me.
A fair point.
Not
If we're
against
going
it.
to do the...
I have the one you gave me still, Edmund.
Yeah, that's that one makes a slightly bigger bang, if you will. Just slightly. But yeah, I take your point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. We could do that. I do have another thought. If we are throwing ideas in the pot, as it stands, we've got create a distraction outside, create a distraction inside. The other potential, we know that they deal with cargo down at the boathouse.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, after they've dealt with that cargo down at the boathouse, they then return and put the horses and the carriage away for the night. If we could somehow get on that, we could potentially get in at night when it's nice and quiet.
Also good.
It sounds like we've got a couple of ideas, and I honestly don't know which one we should be going with.
I will remind you the coach house is an outbuilding at the front. It's not part of the actual whole complex.
Cool. Retcon, I make the point.
Yeah.
But it would be a way to get into the local area completely unseen. Bravo? Mr. Tristan? Any thoughts?
I am against the idea of creating a distraction on the inside. You never know where the bright wisp might land. You never know who you're hurt.
That's true.
A fair point. In that event, perhaps the silent infiltration is the way to go. Especially if it means that we won't risk a fight prematurely.
Yeah, if we cause a big stir, they might set those big machines on high alert for the rest of the evening.
True.
Sorry, one thing. What can we hear where we are right now?
Make me a perception notice roll.
All of us?
Yep, all of you. Particularly if Edmund's asking.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this out loud. I'm like, shh. What can you hear? That would be 3 levels of success for myself.
Same.
Just the one for me.
I got a 3 for 0 levels of success. So I think we can canonically say Tristan don't hear shit.
I mean, ironically, yeah, exactly. Only Tristan doesn't quite realise the significance of that. The others, no birds, no insects, no wind through the branches ahead of you. It is unbelievably silent. But Alice and Edmund, it's only when you're trying to hear it that as you are listening, you don't so much hear it as you feel it. That tension that you felt. So that many months ago when the machine that was causing the activation of the Red Death was running. The same tension you felt in the Right House. You feel it now, here.
Okay. I'm going to take out the tuning forks. and I'm going to, not loud, but loud enough, tap each one in turn. I'm trying to find if there's like a counter frequency that kind of counteracts that tension.
There is. Also, to the point, as you pull them out, one of the ones that you pull out, not the same that vibrated during the incident with the Red Death, but one of them, before you touch it, it's vibrating in your fingers before you tap it, as though it's aligned with the frequency that's happening around you. It is one of the deeper ones.
Okay.
You find a counter frequency on one of the other tuning forks.
Okay. What happens when I ring that softly? It just eases the tension a little in the air?
Exactly.
Okay.
They have some sort of machine in there.
That's my thinking.
Like those other blasted ones.
Yeah, exactly like that. Mr. Tristan, I have an idea.
Oh? Do tell.
Tuning forks operate on a frequency-based system. The smaller the fork, the shorter the sound wave, the higher pitch frequency. Therefore, if we had if we could scale up a rudimentary replica of this tuning fork, make it large,
Yes.
the area that would affect could be greater.
Okay.
I can't help but wonder if that might be a useful item to be able to have. I don't know what the specifics of this machine is doing here, because it's certainly not Red Death. I mean, and it looks down at Skip, who presumably isn't particularly reactive to this because he has been previously. Now, I don't know if that's because he's only got one of his original ears, but he's not reacting in the same way as he did when it was what was happening with Red Death. So, my thinking is, you and me up quick smart back through the town, try and cobble together something which will allow us to give it a right good whack and disrupt that field, cause all kinds of ruckus, maybe even from a distance, which would also perhaps help, is my thinking. But I also worry that the longer we wait, the longer it is for Dr. Rice to be in dire straits. I don't know. We could also potentially put such a device onto an horse and carriage on the way back from the dock.
How long do you think it would take for you to bodge something together?
I think if we were able to find some assistive hands, we could probably put something together pretty quick. Because it's just a case of finding a big bit of metal and cutting it to the right length. That's all it is. I don't say that frivolously, of course.
Thoughts?
It certainly couldn't hurt matters.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Of course, you are very capable in these matters. You have proven that repeatedly.
Thank you.
Perhaps you could do that while myself and Father Wolf are doing our little reconnaissance.
I reckon if we got enough.
As any other.
Yeah, I reckon if we got enough of a plan. I mean, well, did you not say you were potentially going to go in to help out anyway with the delivery?
That's what I meant. Our reconnaissance. We go in momentarily
yeah.
for the delivery to see if there's something going on in there. While we do that, you attend to this making of things.
Yeah.
And then, if we are set on the silent approach, then when dusk rolls around, we sneak our way in.
Perfect. That works for me. Mr. Tristan?
I've no better ideas, so
Oven fan?
Nathaniel?
Fine by me.
Skippy dip?
Oh!
That's agreed then.
Okay.
We have our plan.
You are able to head back down to the village. Tristan and Edmund, you are able to find a blacksmith on the edge of the village who is able to, with an exchange of some small sum of money, willing to let you use his forge for a few hours. I will need from Edmund a intelligence engineering roll. You may add your +3 for inventor.
Nathaniel is
Can't
an
hear you.
eyeball on a stick, and Tristan is a wallet on a stick.
Edmund is an engineering brain on a stick. I'm going to drama point this as well because that feels like that's a valid use of it.
Certainly.
That is that is a 27 for 8 levels of success.
Damn.
So you remember the things that you were able to glean from
Terrifying.
Wright's spirit engine back in the or rather from the,
Back in the
from
attic.
the spirit engine that was back in Wright's house, not his spirit engine.
Yes.
And using that are able to create some modifications that should amplify the signal from this tuning fork that you create. It is a bodge job. It is thrown together quite quickly, but you're able to get it to the point where it will be working consistently.
If I could yes and that just a tiny bit,
Certainly.
I would like to also put forward that I managed to get my hand on some, it doesn't have to necessarily be copper wire, but some kind of wire. And what I'd like to do is I would like to wrap that wire very tightly around the base of the 2 tines of the tuning fork. And as it gets up towards the top, it's not quite as loose. So it's almost like a conical funnel spring type thing, so that it resonates even more and starts to generate some kind of energy as it does it, just to really resonate that. So he's like adding things to really amplify that resonance as much as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you can do that.
Perfect. He also picks up a sturdy wrench and a piece of cloth to wrap the wrench in, so he can absolutely rattle this thing when it comes to it.
Yep, absolutely. That is entirely doable.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, Nathaniel and Alice, you are able to head over to the grocer just as noon arrives, and you do see the grocer you met before and her cousin conversing. He has what looks like effectively a large sort of horse-drawn cart that is loaded with various different staple foods, vegetables, that kind of thing. There also seems to be some packages from the neighbouring butcher that have been laid on there as well. Oh, are these the two? And the woman from the grocer confirms. If you'd like to give me a hand, you're more than welcome to join me.
It would be our pleasure.
He looks mildly askance at Alice, but offers a hand down to sort of help you up to the front. There's not really space for 2 farther. I hope you don't mind.
You're muted, Reno.
Not at all.
And you're able to sort of set off towards basically along the same path that you walked before, up by the ruins and along the sort of cart track towards the asylum. Usually just hand off to the kitchen staff, and they sort of cart everything in. I don't know that there's much you'll be able to help with, but
We'll see
Anything
if
we
they-
can do to assist.
fair enough. As you sort of are approaching the building more closely, again, that same sort of oppressive feeling is still present. As you reach the gatehouse, there are two men in tall, sort of dark coats stood either side on the inside of this gate. As you approach, one of them reaches down and just starts moving the winch silently. He has a wide-brimmed hat sat on top of his head, as does the other. And as the gate sort of grinds up, just not very talkative, these ones. Afternoon? No response.
Hello.
And as you sort of sidle past them, so just stand there implacably with the sort of collars high on these coats. You draw up outside the kitchens, and a few of the staff appear to be waiting at the back door to help get sort of things out the back of the cart. You're able to sort of help them unload. Is there anything else the two of you would like to do beyond just sort of providing assistance here?
Alice is going to try to make a little bit of small talk with the crew, just to be like, how are things? It must be very interesting working in a place like this.
It's a short woman with sort of red hair pulled back into a bun who sort of goes, not particularly, it's cooking, same as anywhere else. Her eyes sort of flick nervously towards the two men stood at the far end of the courtyard. A bit more people milling around, I suppose, but some of the sounds can be unpleasant.
Oh, I can imagine. It must be trying at times. But what you do is essential. You must be very proud of that. To help those who are suffering, even in a small way, it's a wonderful thing to do. That is actually the same philosophy that my uncle and I follow. Everywhere we go, even if it's only for a vacation, we try and do something to help.
This woman's standing like with a pallet of cabbages in front of you, clearly just
no,
wanting to
she's
leave.
No, she is helping. She's like taking the pallet, being like, helping along. But it's like, she's just being a ray of sunshine.
Yeah, she sort of follows you into the kitchen with like a stack of boxes. That's very good of you. And your uncle being a vic, is the term vicar? I can never remember.
I've heard vicar, I've heard father, I've heard priest. It's very. You can use whichever one you feel most comfortable with.
Fair enough. But that's so kind of you to help. But we've really got it from. And Nathaniel, are you looking for anything in particular?
I'm making use of this very convenient distraction to look around as much as I can. I want to see if I can see anything in the windows. I want to see if I can see people about. I want to see if I know I'm not going to see it, but I'm trying to catch a glimpse of Oliviera. Just anything.
Make me a perception notice roll. I want you to add a bonus of 4 for elementary observation.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to add your bonus for sensing danger.
Oh boy. Goody. This is...
Oh, Sean, you're on mute.
Sorry. Can I retcon something, if that would be allowed?
Okay.
Can I offer that I would have offered either Alice or Father Nathaniel my megascope for the purposes of doing some recon on the way in at all? Or is that maybe... not quite
I would
so
say
relevant?
holding what looks like a spyglass up to your eye would
That's
be
fair.
stretching how far this distraction
That's
could go.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, Nathaniel would have also left his guns with the two of you, strolling up to this place with a huge bundle of whatever. Just no.
Yeah.
Okay, let me. Do I want to drama point this?
You do.
I do. I want to see.
You don't need to, but you want to.
I definitely don't need to. This is a modifier of 16. This. Worst I could have done, 7 levels of success. Let's go.
Okay. So I'm going to list the things you see. For one, you see the man that Oliviera shows you through the megascope. In the reflection of John Watson's eye. You see him in animated conversation in one of the windows at the back, sort of towards the back of so as you're inside the courtyard, it would be on your left if you're looking out towards the gates that you've come through. That means it's the back of the building, so it looks like there are windows on the inner courtyard, just not on the back side of the building where they're bricked over. You can see him in animated conversation with someone. As he sort of steps back, a woman steps forward, and in profile, I don't believe you've seen this woman before, but what does strike you is of exactly the same design as the one Alice used to wear. And her blonde hair is pinned up in a very similar way to Alice's. It's only as you sort of look at that and sort of think, your stomach starts to sink, that you look back towards the gate that you came through and the two guardsmen there. And it's only at this angle, with the sun catching it in just the right way, that you see that both their faces are made of porcelain. And you have that sinking realization that you are, in fact, surrounded.
Nathaniel is gonna walk up to Alice. Oh, my dear niece, you seem to be catching like a little bit of a cold. Are you feeling quite well? And he's gonna take his coat, which is as tall as she is, and just kind of like drape it over her. Well, I wouldn't want a little bit of I wouldn't want a sickness ruining the rest of our vacation. You don't mind if we head back to the village already, do you?
Oh, well, if there's nothing else we can help with, then I suppose we might as well.
It sounds quite muffled coming out from under the coat, but the kitchen staff and this man, the greengrocer's cousin, just look at you sort of like vaguely confused as you just start bundling her back the way you came. And as you're sort of walking past, you see both of these guardsmen's faces just slowly in unison turn to follow you as you head back out of the gates, otherwise remaining perfectly still.
Mm-hmm. But they're not doing anything?
They're not doing anything.
Okay. As soon as we're out of earshot, I'm going to describe Lucy to Alice. Be like, I saw her there. I had to get you out. Also, those two men at the front, they were not just men, at the very least.
I will say, Nathaniel, you do recognise those porcelain faces. Those are the faces of the clockwork men that you have fought before.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's even worse than I thought. We need to move up our timetable, if at all possible. If Lucy is there, then Dr. Rice is in even more danger than I thought.
Let's go find the others.
You are able to find the others at the blacksmith, having just finished their work. The sun is beginning to dip lower in the sky.
Are they with the blacksmith? Or are they just leaving?
The blacksmith has essentially stepped away from his forge because of the money that he's been given by Tristan. So you have a degree of privacy.
Oh, good. I assume we'll just fill them in on, the fact that we saw, the porcelain men, and also Lucy, who, just for the sake of brevity, she's going to remind them, you remember the one that I mentioned was sent to kill Dr. Rice. If she is there, then, as I said to Father Wolf, Dr. Rice is in more danger than we thought. If we can move up our timetable at all, sneak in there as quickly as we can, I think that would be for the best.
If she is there, does that suggest that your fellow students and perhaps your instructor have some investment in this matter?
The truth is, I had already begun to suspect that was the case. I recognize this may not be the perfect time to tell you this, but I did promise honesty. You recall when we first met?
Yes, that was a loud scream.
Yes, I was trying to sell it as best I could. I was not there to inform Dr. Whitlock of anything. I was there to surveil his flat in preparation for killing him. The job that I was sent to do was to surveil the place, look for points of ingress, then that night return, kill him, and steal his notes and samples without reading the notes or exposing myself to the samples. They already had me going after him, presumably because he was researching the Red Death. I had to imagine that they wanted him gone so he wouldn't interfere with what it was they were doing. And, loath as I am to bring this up, as it is rather disgusting. Actually, hang on. Out of character, I just realized, have I told them about my medication, like, at all?
I believe you've only told Oliviera.
Right, okay. So she's going to briefly explain the whole thing about her meds, and that's why she's been looking so sick lately. She hasn't been taking them. And Dr. Bryce informed me, I had her analyze them to see if she could create a substitute. They have cerebrospinal fluid in them, which I did not know. Sean, you're...
Sean.
So Edmund at this point will look towards Tristan and catch his eye and mouth cerebrospinal fluid. And he has like a visceral reaction to that.
My thoughts exactly. I can only imagine it was, for lack of a less terrible term, harvested here. So I think it is a very safe assumption that the school has its hands and fingers in this particular pie.
Well, then.
If I can offer an alternative lens, Miss Alice, how wonderful will it be to be able to put a thorn in the side of that place by disseminating justice in this one?
I haven't been there in some time, but I suppose this would be my formal way of saying that I am leaving. I suppose it will do.
Now that is a resignation letter with a flourish.
Flourishes are one of the many things of which I am very good at.
All right, so question is, how do we get where we are now up to there in as quick a time as possible?
Did your friend from the bar say where the barge begins, or where we can get on it?
Yeah, there's a boathouse at the back.
Right.
I believe that's where they get the barge, punt it along to the dock at the back of the abbey, and then from there, back they come. That's as I understand it.
Then let us get to the boathouse as soon as possible, so that we might stow away. Is there anything we must do beforehand?
Nick, just for clarity, the boat would be leaving that place and going to London, not coming.
Oh, Oh, sorry. I misunderstood. I thought it was going from the boathouse to there and then to London.
No, the
Okay.
boathouse is where it is the point at which it connects to the asylum.
All right. How to infiltrate?
So, I was thinking we've got that abandoned house. What if we were to set up the tuning fork in there and just give that a good whack from there, and I can stay there and just keep whacking at it?
Truth be told, that might be for the best. I do not wish to cause offense, Edmund, but
No
when
offense,
it
no
comes-
gate taken.
when it comes to combat, you are not.
Oh no, I'm awful.
You are.
I will say, Skip will come with you.
Understood.
What if they
So you-
send the Clockwork Men to investigate? And you'll be all by yourself.
Well, if that happens, they're going to have to find me. And if they're looking for me, they're not going to be looking for you three, giving you even more of an opportunity. I think that's a gamble worth taking.
I do not like the idea of putting you in danger.
I mean, there's no option here, is there? We're all in danger. I'm the one that's in least amount of danger. I'm going to be in an house. You're the ones going into the enemy's maw.
A fair point, I suppose.
Come on, we don't have time to think about it.
You're
We have to
you're
act.
of course, you're right. Dr. Rice is in danger.
There is no certainties in this plan.
Quite so. All right, you cause the distraction. We will infiltrate the place. See if we can find Dr. Rice, put a stop to whatever it is they're doing, disrupt what they're doing.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. As the four of you set out to enact your plan, I'm going to cut very briefly back to Oliviera. What are you doing what are you doing from your side, given everything you have learned at this stage?
I'm trying to slip out of the cuffs.
Can I please get a dexterity crime roll from you?
Yes. And I'm going to drama point it.
That seems sensible.
That's plus 10, correct?
Correct.
$14, 3 levels of success.
On a 14 with 3 levels of success, I'm going to need you to take 3 points of damage as you pull the skin off the back of your hands, pulling free from these cuffs. But you're able to slip free, and then once one of them's off, you're able to twist it off the other hand. It hurts, but you're able to do it. Shaking your hands free, you're able to stand, though you momentarily slip and almost fall into the wall, catching yourself as you've realised the position you've been placed in has left your legs weak and trembling and without feeling. Moving to the door, you find it mercifully unlocked. Are you opening it?
Can I hear anything?
Make me a perception notice roll.
Rolling terribly. 10 for 1 level of success.
You can hear singing coming from a cell next to yours, and it is audibly now that you can hear him. He is singing "I Once Knew a Man Who Swallowed a Fly." And from a cell across the way and to the left, you can hear what sounds like someone talking to themselves, but you can't make out what's being said.
Can I see anything through the door from where I am?
You can walk over and take a look. There doesn't
Yep.
appear to be anyone else in the corridor.
Okay.
You walk over. The design is the same as yours. There is a slot that can be moved to open. You opening it?
Yes.
You slide the plate across to reveal a room not unlike the one you have just been in yourself. There is a man with long, lank hair and growing stubble chained to the ground. He appears to be muttering to himself. You can see the lank, greasy hair falling across his face, though it cannot quite disguise an aquiline nose. You have read enough of Strand magazine to recognise the withered but alive form of Sherlock Holmes. Which is where we are going to end episode 18 of Lanterns of London. Join us next time for episode 19, our penultimate episode of season 1. See you all next time, folks.